Hello, dear brothers and sisters in Christ. I bring you greetings from Canada to my brothers and sisters in the WAM. The last time I was with you was back in February 2020. Today is Sunday, May the 3rd, 2020. And over the last 5 months, the world has undergone tremendous change. We are now in the grips of a great pandemic that is called coronavirus. The last time we had a pandemic or a global epidemic was back in 1918, over 100 years ago, when the Spanish flu hit and killed 50 million people around the world. In times like this, the world is filled with fear, anxiety, depression, sickness, and yes, indeed, many people have lost their loved ones. So when the foundations are being destroyed, what can the righteous do? The psalmist tells us, "The Lord is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, the Lord is our refuge and strength." Also he says, "I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." At a time like this, I am reminded of the familiar story in the gospel. The story of Jesus in the boat. He was on the Sea of Galilee with his disciples after a long day of ministry, and Jesus fell asleep in the boat. And all of a sudden, a big storm came up, and the waves were crashing over the boat, and the wind was howling, and the disciples were afraid that they were going to drown. So they wake up Jesus, who was sleeping in the boat, and they said to him, Master, Master, don't you care that we're going to drown?" And he says to them, "O ye of little faith, why are you so afraid?" And he rebukes the wind and the waves, and the storm dies down. Well, what does this mean to us today? It means that Jesus is in the boat of our life. He is with us in the boat. He is with us in the midst of this pandemic. He has not forgotten us. He has not forsaken us. We have to turn to him, and we have to cry to him. And when we do, he says to us, "My son, my daughter, where is your faith? Have faith in me. Trust me. I have everything under control." Well, how can we replace our fear with faith? I can think of 3 things. First, remember God's faithfulness to you in the past. Remember all he has done for you in your life. Remember how he has rescued you from many difficulties in the past. Secondly, recommit your life to Christ. Recommit your life to Christ. Again, tell him how much you have faith in him. Thirdly, resolve to think and to commit your fears to the Lord, and to have faith in Christ when the fears and dark thoughts assail you. So remember God's faithful to you in the past. Recommit your life to him in the present, and in the future when you are hit by these thoughts, resolve and strongly decide to commit your anxieties and your fears to the Lord and to focus on Christ. So, let me remind you again of the promise in Psalm 91 verse 7, where he says, 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. Be strong and courageous, God says to Joshua. Be strong and courageous. Finally, let me leave you with a blessing. This blessing is how Moses was to bless his people. And he said to them, "And I give you this blessing, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you his peace." So my brothers and sisters in Christ, I give you God's peace and joy, and ask that these will be yours in the days and weeks ahead. God bless you.